Unbranded HTC Touch Diamonds just got themselves a much needed firmware update fixing camera preview problems, video problems, speaker problems, MMS problems, well, you get the idea. And doubtless many little fixes under the hood too. About time. If your Diamond is network branded, go shout at your network though. And don't forget to sync or back up your data first. Many S60 phones have also gotten minor firmware updates in the last couple of weeks, including the N95 8GB, the N95, the E51, the E71 and the 5800. The usual deal, see Nokia software update, and again don't forget to back up or sync first. Also newsworthy is the availability of StyleTap for S60. This is a cross-platform pseudo emulator for Palm OS, already working on Windows Mobile. With S60 compatibility though, over 200 million phones just became, potentially, virtual Palm PDAs. Why would you want this, I hear you ask? Well, many of us used Palms for years, and there are still some vertical market third-party applications which simply don't have equivalents on modern devices. This way you can take the Palm app with you, and upgrade from that old Trio or Palm Tungsten at last. One thing that struck a chord with me in the announcement of the Palm Pre a couple of weeks ago was that it was stated that there's now so much information and functionality on our phones that new ways of finding something are needed. Hardened power users will go, "Pah, if I want a contact, I'll go to contacts. If I want a calendar entry, I'll go to calendar," and so on. However, an arguably smarter way to operate, and seemingly perfectly aligned with how the Pre is going to work, is to simply start typing the thing you're looking for and letting the operating system find anything that matches. This is in fact based on how the old Palm OS find used to work, and to a certain extent how Nokia's mobile search works. But what they showed on the Palm Pre went quite a bit further, in that you can simply start typing from the home screen in order to bring up anything on the device that matched. The reason for this little spot though is to demonstrate that you really don't have to wait until the pre-launches to see this sort of functionality on your phone. Over a year ago I reviewed an application called SkyKey over on All About Symbian, which proved to be very good. Here's the URL, but now I found something that's even better. T9Nav is a theoretically still in beta utility that installs in the background on your S60 phone, it indexes all your content and then sits invisibly behind the home screen waiting for input. The name itself is one clue, of course. Start tapping in an alphabetic search clue using T9 predictive keystrokes, and the software then searches everything for all possible matches to your T9 sequence. The upshot of it all is that everything looks normal on the home screen, but whether you want to get to a contact, a music track, an S60 application, a web bookmark, a calendar entry, an image or a video, you literally start typing, just as if you were typing a common word using predictive text, and the software does the rest. Just as with the Palm Pre demo, it's almost like magic. In the spirit of this being something of a review though, I should mention a few caveats. There's an initial indexing period of several minutes after installation when T9Nav has to go through your phone working out what's where. After the initial index, it keeps itself up to date much more quickly. Then there's the way it still takes a second or two to come up with matches, and scrolling down its matched list isn't quick. Finally, it doesn't index map favourites, to-do items or notes, disappointingly. Those apart though, this data-driven model for accessing your stuff really is one way to go. Hopefully you'll be giving T9Nav or SkyKey or a similar utility for your chosen platform a try soon. Oh, one more thing. T9Nav's best feature. Someone calls your landline while you're out but you don't recognise the number. Remembering just the last few digits, something 8382, you open up your phone and find that T9Nav even finds matches within phone numbers. Very useful indeed. Here's another smartphone I don't want to spend too much time on, simply because its principal unique selling point is its price. The Nokia E63 can be thought of as a poor man's E71, bringing the QWERTY form factor, S60 and quite a bit of Nokia online goodness at a knockdown price. Companies will be buying this for around £160 ex-VAT, which is terrific value. The most interesting aspect is the balancing act here between price and features. The main features missing from the E71, which I reviewed a few shows back, are HSDPA, there's no GPS, the use of a cheaper 2-megapixel camera. Other cost-saving measures include the device not shipping with a micro USB cable, so you have to buy one if you want to do firmware updates, but maybe that's not for the core E63 market. There's no infrared port, and there's no dedicated volume controls or power button, and there's no memory card in the box. Finally, the E63 is plastic all the way.
But the smartphone isn't unattractive. In fact, the back is nicely rubberized. It feels though it's impossible to drop. The E63 even has some features that the E71 lacks. A 3.5mm audio out jack hidden behind this horrible little plug, separate control and character keys, and an LED flashlight function. Just press and hold the spacebar. One additional bonus is that you get a year's free subscription to Nokia's Files and Ovi, a combined remote access utility and a virtual disk in the cloud. So that's good to have. In summary, the E63 is unremarkable, with average music and media playback, and with S60's highly functional but rather slow web browser. But with a huge battery, 1500 mAh, the E63 will last for days and provide solid email, office and PIM operation. It's a classic workhorse, absolutely nothing to get excited about, but dependable when needed and seemingly affordable by everyone. The E63 from Nokia. Okay, I've had some feedback accusing me of being in both Apple and Nokia's pocket, so I want to rectify that over the next few shows. And I'm poorly, you could probably tell in the voice, and in a bad mood. So, starting my objective criticisms with 10 things I hate about the Apple iPhone. Number 1, no multitasking. Having most apps closed down every single time you want to do something else makes for a slow and cumbersome experience overall. And the promised push notification, aka the clutch, service is still not available. Number 2, the horribly basic, non-focusing, non-flash camera. This is 2009. Number 3, no video recording in the camera. Did I mention the camera was basic? Number 4, no flash content is shown in the browser at all. Number 5, poor battery life. I can't get through a whole day of use, and you can't swap in another battery. Number 6, no copy and paste. Well, that had to be in the list, didn't it? Essential if anyone is to take the iPhone seriously. I had copy and paste on my Cyan and Palm PDAs in the mid-1990s, for goodness sake. Number 7, email doesn't seem to be proper IMAP. When forwarding an email with an attachment, the iPhone downloads it and then sends it out again. When you're looking at a big attachment, it's just horribly inefficient. Number 8, no multimedia messages, and you can't email photos at original size either. Everything is automatically and silently resampled down to VGA. Not good all round. Number 9, you can't forward text messages. Number 10, there's no file system, so no Office applications, no saving of attachments, no downloading files at all. Next time I'll have 10 things I hate about the Nokia 5800, just to throw some balance. And then we'll see who's next.
Okay, so I'm poorly, but it's still high time for my 6-monthly top 5 roundup of the very best phones in the world. And just as well, seeing as which phone should I buy is still by far the #1 question I get asked by email and in the show comments on YouTube. First up, what's not in the top 5 this time around? Well, there's nothing powered by Windows Mobile, which is now really antiquated if you ask my opinion, and hidden under numerous kludge front ends. But Windows Mobile 6.5 is rumoured to be launched in a couple of weeks at MWC, so do watch this space. Nothing powered by Android either. Although showing huge promise, there's only been one phone actually made with it so far, and that has rubbish hardware. Again though, watch this space. Android will come of age by the end of 2009. No Samsung S60 phones either. These still teeter on the buggy side of greatness. And so to the top 5, the phones that I recommend buying, along with their approximate costs in the UK, out of contract and including taxes, just to compare them. At number 5, the iPhone 3G, still a marvel of software engineering, let down by the 10 things I just mentioned in the show, from £340 in the UK, ex-contract. At number 4, the BlackBerry Bold, superb display, superb keyboard, Wi-Fi, everything RIM have ever learned about making this form factor all rolled into one perfect whole. Now if they could just tidy up the software a little, from £440 in the UK ex-contract. At number 3, the Nokia E71, super little QWERTY smartphone that can do everything basically, let down only by a weak camera and poor multimedia performance, from £310 in the UK ex-contract. At number 2, the Nokia N82, the technical peak of Nokia's hardware miniaturization might. A fabulous Xenon flash equipped camera, true high quality video recording. This is being shot on the N82. graphics acceleration for games and video playback, wide app compatibility, a sensitive GPS, and so on. You'll remember from show 71 how incredibly robust it is too. Only spoilt by the fiddly keypad and the dimmish screen, and the cheapest phone in this top 5 too, at only £285 in the UK ex-contract. But still at number 1, the numero uno, the big chief, the Nokia N95 8GB. Still, it matches almost everything I just mentioned for the N82, but adds a glorious 2.8-inch screen and a larger battery. Almost 2 years after its release, it's still the best damn phone in the world, and you can quote me on that, from £335 in the UK ex-contract. Looking ahead to 2009, will the Nokia N97 muscle its way in? What about the T-Mobile G2? And what about the Palm Pre? Comments welcome.